Ve'eschanan, a vort from the Parshah. The following vort is from the first Rebbe of Chabad, Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, of blessed memory, also known as the Baal HaTanya. It is a passage from a mimer in his work on Torah, Likutei Torah. V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha, and you shall love the Lord your God, Deuteronomy 6:5. One of the best known passages in the Torah is found in this week's Torah portion, Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. This all-important verse in which the Hebrew names for God are respectively the Tetragrammaton, which is so holy that it's forbidden to be pronounced, and it's therefore pronounced Hashem, or more precisely Havaya, except during prayer or formal Torah reading. Elokeinu, meaning our Elohim, our God, and Hashem, or Havaya again, is possibly as famous in the original as it is in English. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. It and the immediately following verses, together with other passages to be discussed below, are so central to our religion generally and to our personal worship in particular, that recitation of the Shema is the focal point of our daily prayer service. The Shema prayer actually consists of the verse Shema Yisrael itself, followed by the statement, "Blessed is the name of his glorious kingdom forever and ever." We then recite the rest of the passage, Deuteronomy 6:5-9, which begins, "And you shall love Hashem your God, Havaya Elokecha, with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might." The first portion of the Shema prayer is sometimes referred to by its initial Hebrew word, V'ahavta, you shall love. Following this, we go on to recite a passage, Deuteronomy 11:13-21, whose main theme is reward and punishment, and shall be, if you hearken, if you hearken to my commandments, which I command you this day, to love your God, to serve him with all your heart and all your soul, then I will give you the rain of your land in its due season, that you may eat and be satisfied. Take heed for yourselves, lest your heart be deceived, etc. There's also a third passage, however, the above are considered the main portions. Jewish mysticism teaches that God's holy names express specific aspects of God, much as a person might be called the wise one to express that aspect of his or her personality, or the kind one to express that particular aspect, in addition to such descriptive or adjectival references to God as omnipresent or almighty. The Kabbalah refers to several divine names comprised of various amounts of words or letters. Two of these are the name of 42, identified with the prayer Anabechoach, which contains 42 words, and the name of 72. The name of 42 is associated with God's attribute of Gevurah, strength or restraint, the tendency of which is not to give forth but to withhold, not to smudge over the boundaries between things, and therefore allow them to meld and blend together, but to sharply distinguish and enforce the lines separating one thing from another. The name of 72, on the other hand, is associated with God's attribute of chesed, of kindness, the tendency of which is in fact to give forth unreservedly and undeservedly. Now, the first passage of the Shema, the word V'ahavta, and you shall love, through the word Uvisharecha, and in your gates, contains 42 words. This corresponds to the divine name of 42. The second passage, however, is associated with the divine name of 72. It is counterintuitive because the theme of the first passage, V'ahavta, is clearly love of God. This seems more appropriate to the name of 72 and the divine attribute of Chesed than to the name of 42, associated as that is with the divine attribute of Gevurah. Conversely, the second passage, V'hayim Shemoah, expressly says if you do good, you'll be rewarded, but if you sin, you'll be punished. a theme that certainly seems more suited to the name of 42 than the name of 72. This matter may be understood in accordance with the statement of the Zohar that the lights change places so that left becomes included in right. A common metaphor in mystical literature is that godly emanations or revelations as light, which are so bright, so powerful that they must be contained with vessels, through which we can perceive and withstand their influence. The divine attribute of chesed, mercy, or loving kindness, is associated with the right side, and the attribute of gevura with the left. Thus, the above Kabbalistic teaching means, simply, that it is possible for the light suited for one vessel to change places and express itself through a different vessel. So that, for example, the light of chesed is expressed through the vessel of gevura, and the light of gevura through the vessel of chesed. See the adaptation of the discourse Erda Na on the Torah portion of Vayera, where the concept of oros and kalim, lights and vessels, is explained in a different context. The Shema prayer is an example of this. The first passage, outwardly dealing with the love of God, a function of chesed, it has an underlying inner aspect of gevura, as seen from its association from the name of 42. The second passage, outwardly dealing with the strict justice and punishment, a function of gevura, nevertheless has an underlying inner aspect of chesed and is associated with the name of 72. Have a great Shabbos.